to the Vice President, Her Excellency Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, give the keynote address. Now, coming up in the headline for this afternoon. Parts of Accra were left submerged in floodwaters after several hours of torrential rain on Wednesday, October 1, 2025. The minority in Parliament demands Sam George's removal over his handling of the DSTV pricing saga. Still to come, Amnesty International calls for a strong prosecution of the assistant headmaster of KNUST caught in viral video fondling with a schoolgirl to send strong signal to other teachers. In business, an economist has urged the government of Ghana to explore alternative markets beyond the United States following the government's decision to negotiate with the U.S. government on its 15% tariff imposition. On the international front, at least 30 people have died and more than 200 were injured when scaffolding collapsed at a church in Ethiopia. Stay with us, we have details of these and more coming up shortly. You're watching ABC Midday News here on ABC News Ghana Television. We're streaming live on Facebook at ABC News GH_. Now to our stories. Parts of Accra were left submerged in floodwaters after several hours of torrential rain on Wednesday, October 1, 2025. The rains, which started around 5 p.m. in some locations, wreaked havoc and caused significant damage to properties in certain areas, leaving major roads blocked. Parts of Accra were left submerged in floodwaters after several hours of torrential rain on Wednesday, October 1, 2025. The rains, which started around 5 p.m. in some areas, wreaked havoc and caused significant damage to property, leaving major roads blocked. Now, communities such as Kaneshi, Odona, Weja, and Kaswa were among the worst hit, with floodwaters entering homes, shops, and schools. Several vehicles were trapped on major roads, including sections of the Accra-Kaswa Highway and Ring Road, causing heavy traffic gridlock late into the night. Experts have renewed calls for sustainable flood control measures, citing poor drainage systems, uncontrolled construction, and indiscriminate waste disposal as major causes of perennial flooding in Accra. Meanwhile, the Ghana Meteorological Agency has warned that its use of obsolete equipment is hindering accurate weather predictions. Addressing the media following a working visit by Parliament's Committee on Information and Communication, Director General of General Services of the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Vivian Ablakali, also stated that financial challenges is crippling the agency.
Section 12 of the Act instructs some of our sectors or some of our stakeholders to pay some services or some fees for the services they enjoy. As we speak, we only get some monies from airport company. Ghana Civil Aviation is yet to pay. And Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, as you are here with us, it is our prayer and it's our belief that you would help us in this regard, because as at now, we have no source of funding coming from Ghana Civil Aviation, whom we provide services for. Even though Section 12 of the Act instructs some of our sectors or some of our stakeholders to pay some services or some fees for the services they enjoy, as we speak, we only get some monies from airport company. Ghana Civil Aviation is yet to pay, and Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, as you are here with us, it is our prayer and it's our belief that you would help us in this regard, because as at now, we have no source of funding coming from Ghana Civil Aviation, whom we provide services for. Even though Section 12 of the Act instructs some of our sectors or some of our stakeholders to...
We have on the line Joshua Samoa, senior meteorologist at the Central Analysis and Forecasting Office of GMET, to help us understand what we are to expect in the coming days. Good afternoon, Tenny. Welcome to ABC News Ghana Television.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Right. Now, yesterday's rain flooded a lot of areas. What are we to expect in the coming days?
Well, thank you very much, and a very good afternoon to your viewers. So, like you said, it's been raining for most places in southern Ghana, not just in Greater Accra, and this is because we are in the minor rainfall season for the south. October actually turns out to be the peak of the minor rainfall season in southern Ghana. So it's actually not something new to be seeing rainfall around this period. It is something that we'll continue to experience until the latter parts of the month, towards November, where we'll start seeing the events subsiding.
What's accounting for the heavy rain?
It's the minor rainfall season for southern Ghana. So around this time, we get that kind of activities, and this is the peak of the minor rainfall season in the south. And so we see a lot of favorable conditions that help rain formation and then eventual precipitation. And so that is what we are actually seeing. It's just that will not be happening every day, but it is quite common in October to be getting rainfall within southern Ghana.
Right. In terms of wind, is it going to be very windy in the coming days?
Well, occasionally we'll have some windy conditions, but not all the time. Just some few of the rains will come with those gusty winds, but most of them will just be the rains without the strong winds accompanying them. But there will be few instances where they will come as storms, and so you have that kind of windy conditions approaching together with the rains that are associated with them.
All right. Now, for people living in flood-prone areas, what would be the precautionary measure to take at this time?
Your best bet is to be very cautious of weather information before you step out of your house or you take any decision for whatever week or day. You need to know what the weather condition is actually going to be for that day, so that they inform the decisions that you take for that particular day. When we do that, then we are going to safeguard our lives and property. But when we live in the dark, where we have no idea what is going to happen, then obviously when the disaster happens, its impact will also be very high on us. So we should plan with the weather for every day within this rainy season.
You mentioned that we should adhere to results or statements from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, but they're also saying that they don't have Hello? Right. Now, you are saying that you don't have enough equipment to, determine whether or not it's going to rain and the how heavy it's going to be to make accurate predictions. What else, or what other measures are you taking to ensure that at least your predictions are closer?
Well, I'm not sure anyone from Ghana Meteorological Agency said they didn't have the equipment to make the projections on whether it is going to rain, or whether it's going to be heavy or anything like that. Because we've seen a lot of advancements in recent years, and we are seeing a lot of improvement in forecasting. And so if only you follow the agency and get the information from the agency, then obviously you'll know whenever there's going to be any event. But where people don't get the distinction is that the Ghana Meteorological Agency is only focused on what is going to happen from the atmospheric perspective. Once it hits the ground and you want to understand which areas will be flooded and all of those things, it is the mandate of the Ghana Hydrological Authority. That is not Ghana Meteorological Agency's mandate anymore. And so you need to get information from us and then also get information from Ghana Hydrological Authority, which will help you plan your activities. But not say that we don't have the equipment to tell you that it is going to.
Sorry, I'm asking this question because addressing the media following a working visit by Parliament's Committee on Information and Communications, the Director General of the General Services of the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Vivian Abla Kali, stated that they are facing some financial challenges which is crippling the agency and affecting their predictions.
Well, probably maybe she's talking about the fact that we will still need a lot more equipment to improve. But if the current standards that we have, if you are following the information that we are providing now, there's no way that you find yourself in any weather-related disaster or events which you probably didn't have a full knowledge about. And so you would get the information, you can take decisions that will actually help protect you from that kind of impact that will occur. So we can do better. That no doubts about that one. But the standard that we have now is something that you can actually rely on and still make very good, useful information from it.
Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
All right, thanks for having me.
Right, that was Joshua Asamoah, Senior Meteorologist at the Central Analysis and Forecasting Office of the Ghana Meteorological Agency. He's telling us that we should take precautionary measures and adhere to the releases and predictions of the agency. Now, moving on, the minority in Parliament is demanding the removal of Communications Minister Sam George over his handling of the DSTV pricing saga. They accuse him of arrogance, disrespect, and inconsistency, insisting he must apologize and explain his sudden shift on the promised 30% price cuts. Sam George has dismissed the calls, describing the minority as incompetent. He maintains that his ministry has delivered a 260% data increase and improved engagement with local content creators. While the Communications Committee chair insists no laws were breached, the ranking member Matthew Nyindam has accused the minister of failing to deliver on his own promises and allowing ego to take precedence. He's also demanding transparency on the fines imposed on DSTV. The minority has warned that Parliament will summon the minister if he fails to respond. Meanwhile, former Ashanti Regional Communications Director of the New Patriotic Party, Dennis Kwakwa, has called on Communications Minister Sam George to apologize to Ghanaians over his handling of the DSTV pricing standoff. He urged that the minister's shifting position has created confusion and eroded public trust in the government's promise to secure fair pricing for consumers.
The minister delivered nothing. What it means is, if the minister had not gone on to do that show of bravado, DSTV was going to do their promotion anyway. It is something that a corporate decision that they planned way before the beginning of the year. And so they were going to do. We use the service, and from time to time, they reach us and tell us you can reconnect your blah, blah, blah. Sometimes if you are away and you are not renewing your subscriptions, they come to you with a lot of offers. And so it is not because the Honorable Minister Sam George engaged them that brought about this. At the end of the day, the minister came to make himself like a god in this country. My brother is saying that it's a corporate affair, and so they are doing business. And we didn't expect a minister of communication to meddle in the affairs of corporate entities as he did. On a certain platform, I said, yes, Ghanaians would well appreciate if the minister was able to make sure that the prices were reduced. We are going to appreciate it, but if we were not lucky, and DSTV also says that because of that interference from the minister, they were leaving the auspices of Ghana. Ghanaians were not going to be grateful to the minister in any way. And I think where he has come to, he just have to come out and apologize rather than just to come out and tell us.
Now, National Executive Member of the National Democratic Congress, Nitan Saki, has defended Communications Minister Sam George in the ongoing DSTV pricing dispute. Speaking on ABC in the morning, Nitan Saki said the minister's negotiation with MultiChoice forced the company to table and secured a reprice of subscription fees starting October 1. According to him, this represents the best possible deal for Ghanaians given the company's earlier resistance.
Somebody who was paying 200 for a service, but will now have to pay 99 cedis for the same service. Has that not been useful for? Has it not been useful for the person? So yeah, I agree with you. The 99 may not have been reduced downward, but the services that you are going to get is better. So those who were paying 200 can now decide to go for the services of 99, which is far better than, which is far more than 100%. So yes, those who were paying 99%, 99 cedis will not enjoy reduction in price, but do enjoy excess services. But those who were paying 200 will now pay 99 to enjoy the same services that they were enjoying. So there has been some reduction, even which is more than 100%, which is more than the 30% that the minister promised. So those who were paying higher will get more, will get reduction and enjoy the same services. But those who were paying low as 99, will still pay their 99, enjoy better, more services. So I think everybody has benefited one way or the other. What happens to somebody who was...
Meanwhile, MultiChoice Ghana has issued an apology after creating widespread confusion about new DSTV subscription packages that took effect today, with the company now clarifying it fully supports the government's negotiated value enhancement deal. The confusion erupted when MultiChoice published a frequently asked question document on its website today, describing the enhanced packages as a 3-month promotion ending December 31, 2025. This directly contradicted what Communications Minister Sam George had announced just 2 days earlier. Sam George revealed on Monday, September 29, that Ghanaian DSTV subscribers would enjoy between 33% and 50% more value on their subscription starting October 1, following negotiations between his ministry and MultiChoice Africa. He framed it as a sustainable arrangement subject to quarterly review, not a temporary promotion. Now, hours later, MultiChoice Ghana released a clarification statement attempting to contain the damage. The company apologized for any inconvenience the facts may have caused and confirmed it fully supports the joint media statements announced by the government. The episode highlights the delicate stance between government pressure and corporate autonomy in Ghana's telecommunications sector. Now let's take a look at the statement from MultiChoice Ghana. It says, media statements, clarifications on DSTV value offerings. Following the recent joint press conference with the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, the National Communications Authority, MultiChoice Africa, and MultiChoice Ghana, we wish to clarify the facts published on our website, which created an erroneous impression of a contradiction regarding the DSTV value offering, which is effective today, October 1, 2025. We would like to clarify as follows. 1. We fully support the joint media statement that was issued by the Honorable Minister, Honorable Samuel Nate George, and implementation of same has already commenced. 2. As contained in the said joint media statement regarding the value offering, the committee will reconvene in 3 months to evaluate the impact of this initiative. This will be a periodic exercise. 3. There is no restriction on a subscriber's choice of a bouquet. This offer is available to both existing, returning, and new customers from 1st October 2025. We apologize for any inconvenience the facts may have caused. Signed, Multi-Choice Ghana. Now, joining us on the line is David Ansa Opoku, Deputy Ranking, a member on the Parliament's Committee for Communication and Information. Good afternoon, sir, and you're welcome to ABC News Ghana Television. Hello, sir. Good afternoon, and welcome to ABC News Ghana Television.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Right. Good afternoon, and you're welcome to ABC News Ghana Television.
Thank you very much.
Right. Now, why is the minority demanding the removal of Sam George? We know he said he was going to get us a discount, a reduced price instead, but he rather delivered more, an upgrade of the channels at the same price instead of the reduction in price. Is that not a win?
Well, you see, we just have to be very sincere with ourselves. Every user of DSTV, every subscriber of DSTV knows that DSTV, especially during their low moments, would incentivize their customers so that we can sign up or be paying our bills. So usually what they do is that they have programs called the Step Up or the Weekday for You. And these are programs that they upgrade customers onto different platforms. Public office comes with a certain responsibility. In fact, you owe like a duty to the people that you serve, to be truthful to them, to be forthright with them, and also to champion their cause. Now, if you lead a cause and it turns out that that cause was not successful, you come to us and tell us that DSTV could not deliver on what we were all expecting. And that is it. I mean, it's a pay TV. We can all decide as a people that we are unsubscribing to DSTV. I think that will be another form of putting pressure on the company to reduce their prices, just like what happened in Nigeria. Nigeria was a concerted effort. But if you come back to tell us that you have won victory, you've done this is the first time, this is a novelty, and all of that is historic. Nobody has seen such a package before. And it turns out that this is a package that we enjoy virtually every time as subscribers. Then we are not being fair. What we wanted was a reduction in the pricing of DSTV packages. For instance, I sign up to the premium package. Now, per what DSTV is saying, if you read their frequently asked questions, they are advising customers not to downgrade. And this is a promo that is running from October 1st to December 2025. And so it has nothing to do with any demand from government to reduce and all of that. We all fought for the reduction. We felt that the prices were outrageous. If we did a comparative analysis with other countries, you would come to the conclusion that DSTV was ripping off our country. The committee, we attempted to meet with DSTV.
Right. Honorable.
But because of their numbers, they sabotage the system.
Honorable.
Yes, madam.
Sorry for cutting you, but DSTV has clarified that it's not a promotion, but an offer that will be reviewed every 3 months.
My sister, they are just engaged in semantics. I mean, they are just playing with words. and it's important that you don't do that. In fact, the statement from DSTV, it's pure. It's a pure statement to make the minister look good. In fact, they had issued a statement. People had engaged them as of 30th of September. They had issued a frequently asked questions on their website. And it was very clear that this was part of their promotional packages and that it was running from October 1 to December 2025. So, yes, the minister, of course, I mean, there's been some high-level discussions that have gone on, and nobody would want his boss to look bad. So they would want to come out with a statement that seems to suggest that they are in agreement with what the minister has said. But what Natural says, what the minister has said, is just a minister who now turns himself into a promotional director for DSTV. And so they will agree with him. If tomorrow morning I go on any other radio station and I say that ABC is the best news and that everybody should subscribe to ABC News, I'm sure the next moment you would issue a statement commending me for this. Because we're doing your work for you. It's just the promotional material and PR spending just to make the minister look good. But he had, I mean, his approach was wrong. That seeming arrogance laced with incompetence that the minister uses for his approaches is wrong. It's something that he needs to drop it as soon as possible. I mean, we are all in public service. I am a member of parliament. I serve the good people of this country. He is a member of parliament and also a minister of state. He's serving the people of this country. No one person will ever get it right. And so these attempts that the minority is excellent, I mean, it does not wash. What really has he achieved? Look at what he's doing with Airtel Tigo. Merging Telecom and Airtel Tigo when there's a better offer from the Canadians. What really does he seek to achieve? He should just mention one achievement that this have George, ever since I became a minister for communication, this is what I have achieved.
Honorable.
What that is doing, I think that, I mean, elementary civil society, everybody can do it. Yes, madam.
Right. Now, it seems as though the minority is more concerned about what he said and not his actions. But is that the case?
He told you what he said. He has said nothing new. What he said is just re-echoing the promotional strategy of VST. And if you go to Nigeria, Zambia, South Africa, Kenya, everywhere that there is DSTV, the package for step up, asking customers to upgrade when you pay your bills, you get an upgrade of 3 months. It is there. It's something that happens every day. So the minister has done nothing. This whole period of I'll suspend licenses, I'll suspend nothing. You did nothing for the country. You did nothing. It's just wasted public space. It's just wasted public resources. If there was any cost to the state, putting people together and making all the noise in this country. I think something good was going to come out of it. Like I mentioned, in Nigeria, it took regulatory measures to put these things together. Parliament was involved, the regulators were involved. I mean, everybody came on board and they achieved a certain motive. The point, civil society was leading the Nigerians to unsubscribe to DSTV. You understand? So it was not a one-man show like the way some just sought to create an impression. I mean, this fight, we started this fight as a match. And the way the Ghanaian people accepted the fight and they were all together in this thing, we thought that we were going to continue to have the ministerial backing, to have everybody's backing. But if you come out and tell us that we should leave it with you and that DSTV is responding to your proposal and you end up coming to re-echo their promotional materials to us, then we have not been fair to the good people of this country.
Thank you for your time this afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much.
That was David Ansa Opoku, a member on Parliament's Information and Communications Committee. Now, away from that, Country Director of Amnesty International, Genevieve Patterson, has added her voice to calls for justice in a case involving the dismissed assistant headmaster of KNUST Senior High School, Charles Akwesi Edu. Speaking on the ABC in the morning, Genevieve Patterson insisted that prosecution is the surest way to send a strong signal to other teachers and protect students from future abuse. She explained that while the dismissal of the assistant headmaster by the Ghana Education Service was a necessary first step, it is not enough to deter others. Amnesty International is therefore urging the Gender Ministry, the Ghana Police Service, and the Attorney General's Department to ensure the matter proceeds swiftly through the courts.
This is a great call by the minister. I'm very happy she is on this matter, because she will make sure that what justice is served. And again, we just saw a video. There might even be more. That's why an investigation has to go on, because an investigation will reveal whether she's the only victim or not. Has the teacher been doing more with her? Because clearly, these are people that you can see that they are used to having this kind of relation. So, investigations need to be done. So I'm very, very happy. And in fact, Ghana Police Service, we have the right person there, the DCOP, Madam Lydia. She will definitely ensure that, because she's also a lawyer by profession, by the way. So I know that we are in good hands with these two women. I'm just praying that the right thing is done and this teacher will be brought to justice. And I also wanted to serve as a warning to other teachers that are doing it. We will come for you one by one, because this thing needs to stop. And if it means that this teacher will face, will be, accounted for by the law, justice has to be served, and we'll come for the other teachers.
Meanwhile, Amnesty International has expressed concern that Ghanaian society has in many ways normalized pedophilic behavior. Country Director Genevieve Patterson warned that such attitudes contribute to a culture of silence around abuse and allow offenders to go unpunished. She stressed that confronting this mindset is crucial if the country is to protect children and hold abusers accountable.
The problem here is power dynamics. Okay, so when you have a teacher-student relationship, you cannot say it is consensual. Okay, a smile does not equal consent. People have to understand that when pedophiles, right, and when you have older adults grooming, we call it grooming young people, they, that means they've been doing it for so long that now they have accepted it. It doesn't mean it is consensual. It means that you are in a play of power dynamics. You can see that our social media, our society is learning some things, but you can see that some people are also thinking there's absolutely nothing wrong with the video, and that is extremely worrying. That means we are normalizing sexualizing our children. This is very, very concerning. People say things like, "Oh, some of the students today, they are very bad. They bring themselves on the teacher." You are a teacher and a person in authority. You are an adult. You have definitely spent more years on this earth than the student or child. So you need to know better and learn how to control yourself. Are we animals? So again, we look at the laws in Ghana, and the Ghanaian law, okay, that type of conduct, it falls under sexual abuse and harassment, okay. The Criminal Offences Act.
Away from that, concerns are mounting over the delayed implementation of the proposed Women's Development Bank 9 months into the Mahama administration. The initiative, which was a flagship campaign promise of the NDC, was expected to provide women-led businesses with financial support, low-interest loans, and business development services. The Women's Development Bank is designed to break financial barriers, promote inclusion, and strengthen women-led enterprises across the country. The project was last highlighted during the 2025 budget statement in March, when the finance minister announced 51.3 million Ghana cedis as seed funding. President John Mahama again reaffirmed his commitment during his August thank you tour, pledging to establish a women's development bank in every district. But nearly a year into government, the policy remains on hold, raising questions among stakeholders and beneficiaries about when the bank will finally take off. Now let's engage the PRO of the Ministry of Gender and Children Social Protection, Bismarck Nyaji, on this. Good afternoon, Tenny. Welcome to ABC News Ghana Television.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to your parents, listeners, everyone.
Right. Now, before we discuss the Women's Development Bank, I would like us to have a few conversations concerning the viral video from KNUST Senior High School, where the assistant headmaster, who has now been dismissed, was engaging in an act that was bad with one of the students. Now, what is the ministry doing about this? We know Ghana Education Service has dismissed this teacher. Now, what measures is the ministry taking ahead of that?
Yes, I first want to say the ministry condemns any act of child abuse in any form or any manner. As the child is underage, and the ministry does not condone to such acts. Now, as said by the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection yesterday during the launch of the breast cancer awareness, when the Vice President was paid a courtesy call to the ministry, the minister reactivated our commitment to collaborating with the Ghana Police Service to ensure that the headmaster is being arrested. And that is the steps we are taking now to ensure that the headmaster will be arrested, even though the GES have taken its punitive measures, but other measures will also be taken to ensure that he's brought to book.
All right. So has he been arrested? As at this moment?
For now, I cannot confirm arrest. Yeah. So, but how the issues are going, I will update the public accordingly.
All right. Now let's take a look at the Women's Development Bank. It has been 9 months since the government announced this seed funding of 51.3 million for the bank. Can you give us a clear timeline for when the first Women's Development Bank branch will actually take effect?
I would have loved to give a clear timeline. But then one thing we should all know, or Ghana should know, is that this is an activity being coordinated by the Vice President's office, which involves the Gender Ministry, the Finance, and the Ministry of Trade. So these are three ministries that are involved in this issue, and it's being coordinated by the Vice President's office. So for a clear timeline, I may be unable to give you a definitive time of which this activity will be rolled on. And one thing is certain is that the essence of all this the development bank is just meant to support women-owned and women-led business by providing low-interest loans and other tailored financial services on flexible terms. And it also goes a long way to reduce poverty and also enhance livelihood. But as I said earlier, giving a definite timeline would be difficult for me because this involves three stakeholders: gender, finance, and Ministry of Trade. But as we move forward, a clear picture will be tailored to the public to know the modalities of how this development bank will kick off.
What exactly has accounted for the delay? We know that budget allocation has been made for it.
You know, all this has to do with stakeholders engagement, and it's an ongoing process. The Bank of Ghana is involved, Ministry of Finance is involved. So I will say it's a delay, but I'm sure stakeholders needed to be engaged more to ensure that when we start the roll-up, we will not have any hitches and any issues thereof. So even though I may say we appreciate some kind of maybe I start to say delay. I'm not sure it's a delay, but just that the right thing must be done so that when we roll off, we will not have any specific issues to encounter.
For your time this afternoon, sir.
Come again?
Very well noted. Thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right, that was the PRO of the Ministry of Gender and Children Social Protection, Bismarck Nyaji. That's all, and we'll bring you business news right after this break. In the world of business, President John Mahama has revealed that Ghana is in talks with the United States to address the 15% tariffs imposed during the Trump administration, as well as to negotiate the renewal of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which previously allowed duty-free access for African exports. Speaking at the Jubilee House on October 1 during the commissioning of new ambassadors and high commissioners, he noted that the outcome of these discussions will significantly impact Ghana's trade outlook. President Mahama also urged the new diplomats to actively promote Ghana's image abroad, stressing that diplomacy is not just about negotiations, but also about protecting the nation's reputation.
I also wish to inform you that negotiations are ongoing with regards to the trade tariffs of 15% and the renewal of AGOA, which was a 0% tariff on African nations. And so those negotiations are still ongoing. I wish to assure my countrymen and women that our understanding with the U.S. does not undermine our sovereignty, security, or stability. Ghana.
Meanwhile, economist lawyer Daniel Anim Prempe has urged the government of Ghana to explore alternative markets beyond the United States, suggesting that diversifying trade partners would provide a buffer in the event that negotiations with the U.S. fall through.
It appears that any time, something happens to the continent, we sit back and look and lament. It's about time for them to know that the continent, they have so much to benefit from us. And with one voice, we should be able to negotiate such processes to our benefit, But I'm so grateful that if the negotiation is properly done, and we are able to get an exception under the AGUA initiative, that will help. As much as we've not taken the full advantage of the AGUA Act since its establishment, but it has contributed significantly to the economy in the sense that most of our manufacturers, textiles, and garments, and other things, they were able to exploit the American market, and a certain degree of inflows came into the country. So we having an exception, under the AGUA Act will be perfect, especially with the government policy of, resetting the economy. Making sure that we beef up revenue mobilization, we add value to what we produce, and sell to other markets.
That's all for business news. Up next is sports with James Oheneba Makion.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Hello, it's time for Sports on the Midday News with me, James Ohinbamakion. Let's do some national team issues. And Black Starlets head coach Prosper Ogumnante believes fans will see a different Ghana team when they play Cote d'Ivoire in the final of the ongoing WAFU B Under-17 Cup of Nations. The game will be a repeat of the second round of group stage of fixtures when the Black Starlets lost 3-0 to the host country at the Charles Konan Barney Stadium. Ogum says they need to re-strategize.
It will be a different Ghana. Our structure will be different. Our mentality, our character, everything will be different. They defeated us in the group stage, so fortunately we've been able to play them. So we know what to do. We'll go back and then prepare ourselves in terms of our mentality, in terms of our character. We need to stay focused on the field. Tactically, we also have to re-strategize to make sure that we meet them boot for boot. It will be a different Ghana. Our structure will be different. Our mentality, our character.
Now to some legal matters, and the Court of Arbitration for Sports (CAS) has turned down an application from King Faisal Football Club to suspend the Ghana Football Association's Congress resolutions. King Faisal had petitioned CAS after challenging the validity of the August Congress, insisting that the event was unconstitutional because the GFA proceeded despite being served with an injunction notice. Through their lawyers, the club alleged several breaches, including a shortened notice period without members' approval, failure to disclose conflict of interest, building of unrelated issues for a single vote, refusal to conduct a poll after a show of hands, and external interference in decision-making. Although the stay of execution has been denied, the arbitration of the substantive issue will proceed in Lausanne, Switzerland. For now, GFA Congress resolutions remain in full effect until CAS delivers a final verdict. Now to Europe, there will be Europa League games and Conference League games today, so I will bring you more updates in our subsequent bulletin. But before we go, Betway says it's time to get rewarded as the next big sports betting influencer with Betway. All you need to do is to place your bet and share your codes with friends, fans, and followers. If they place bet using your code, you earn 4% of their wager. It doesn't matter if it's a win or a loss. Betway gets way more. That'll be all for sports with me, James Ohinbamakion. Up next is international news.
On the international front, at least 30 people have died and more than 200 were injured when scaffolding collapsed at a church in Ethiopia. The accident happened in the morning at Manja Shenkora Areti Mariam Church in Amhara, northern Ethiopia, as worshippers gathered for an annual event celebrating St. Mary. Many worshippers had climbed up to the wooden scaffolding to see the ceiling mural when the support structure collapsed, according to witnesses. We all had gathered in prayers when all of a sudden the scaffolding collapsed and people started falling from the ceiling. Witness Makias Mebratu, who lost 3 of his friends, said at the scene. Seyum Alte, a clinician with a local hospital, said the victims include children and elderly people. So far, we have confirmed 25 dead and over 100 injured, he said. He said the hospital is seeking help from the Red Cross to care for the injured. In more news, Swedish activist Greta Thunberg and others aboard Gaza-bound aid ships were detained by Israeli forces and will be deported after the global Sumud flotilla was intercepted, trying to break Israel's blockade of Gaza. The flotilla, carrying over 500 activists and aid, set sail from Barcelona on August 31 to deliver food, water and medicine. The global Sumud flotilla accused Israel of allegedly attacking unarmed vessels, claiming some were rammed or hit with water cannons. Israel said the flotilla was a provocation, not a genuine aid mission, and offered alternative delivery routes via its port. The interception sparked international backlash with protests in Italy and Turkey. That's all for international news. Up next is entertainment. In entertainment, Snapchat users are to face new charges for storing their old photos and videos, sparking frustrations among those with years of saved content. The messaging app's memories feature, introduced in 2016, has allowed users to store previously shared snaps for free, but under new changes, accounts with more than 5 gigabytes of saved content will now need to pay for additional storage. The company says the change is part of a global rollout, with a 100 gigabytes plan starting at $1.99 per month. Higher storage levels will be available through Snapchat's premium subscriptions. Now, Snapchat has confirmed that users who exceed the free limit will be given a year of temporary storage and the option to download their data directly to their devices. And that is all for ABC Midday News here on ABC News Ghana Television. We stream live on Facebook at ABC News GH _ for more news. Log on to our website at www.abcnewsgh.com. I am Peggy Nyakwa Bano. Enjoy the rest of your day.